We had wanted a place, someplace that would be kind of a fortress of solitude, a place to get out of town and to go that we could get a boat and ski. And the kids were all little. We bought it in 2001, and it was really before our little family was really ready for a place like that because none of them could really swim yet, and every time we'd go out, Martha would spend all of her time running around worried that somebody was going to get into the water or we were going to lose track of something, like Collins in particular, would have been 3. So, but we got out and immediately began to enjoy going out. But we had figured out we had to have a name for it, and so I actually was going to call it Fortress of Solitude for a while, which was Superman's place where he went to have a fortress of solitude. And I started thinking about when Eisenhower I started thinking about Camp David, which is the presidential retreat that President Eisenhower named for his son David. And all of a sudden it just hit me, why not call it Camp Jack, but make the camp an abbreviation, actually not for camp like camp, but for Campbell. So the actual spelling of it is Camp, C-A-M-P, period, Jack.
Huh. Favorite Camp Jack story? We were tubing one time, and Thomas French, he was out in the tube, and he was trying to be funny and stuff, and pulled his pants off, like, around his ankles and stuff, and tried to, like, jump on the other tube to mess with my other friend Lofton, and I was driving and I did a little, like, turn thing, and Thomas fell down and lost his pants. So he was just butt naked, just tubing and stuff. And then, wait, hold on. Can we leave that one out?
Favorite Camp Jack story are probably the stories that I will never hear until you're like 30 and you decide to tell me what they are. However, there was a lot of question today about why there was a spring from the back door down on the pier.
It was my first time riding tubing when Jack was driving. Because I had always tubed when my dad was driving. And it was kind of like late in the afternoon, and he was driving me and Campbell double tubing. And so he was going a little too fast, and so this guy across the lake came up to us on his boat and was like, "You're like going way too fast, you don't need to be doing this." And it was funny because right after he left, Jack did the exact same thing he was told not to do, just like after that.
Favorite camp is camera? Favorite Camp Jack story. There's a lot of them, but really had to pick at least 2 good ones. I'd probably say one of the first ones is probably the time an acquaintance of mine who I invited to a birthday party brought a taser with him, and it was for, I want to say, 15th birthday or 14th birthday. And so we were all at the lake house and we were having a good time, and suddenly this kid pulls out a taser. But I found out the hard way that he had it because I went to go give him a pat on the back or whatever, and as soon as I get there, I get tased and I drop to the ground. And that kind of continued for the rest of the night. And I think I alone got about 8 tases to 16 tases that night, and so did everyone else. So by the next morning, we were all so sleep deprived, not because we were having a great time that night, but because we were sitting in opposite sides of the room trying to avoid being tased. And so that was definitely an interesting story.
While I was making this video, I had a realization. The reason I chose the lake house wasn't because I like to tube or I like to water ski. Those things are fun. But the reason I chose the lake house is because of the cooks.
So, but I guess like another really good second Camp Jack story is probably really just about every time we go out there when it's just like my really close group of friends and I. Whenever we go out there, every time is just a really good time, and I think I'll always probably laugh the hardest at those than I do at any point in time during the week.
Without the cooks, my life would be very different, to say the least. I guess what I'm trying to say here is I'm just trying to show some gratitude for the friends I've got.
There is a house built out of stone, wooden floors, walls, and window sills, tables and chairs warmed by all of the dust. This is a place where I don't feel This is a place where I feel at home.